What is a phrase most often used by assholes? Asterisk, do you know who I am? Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Asks you why something happened asterisk, don't give me excuses. When you call someone out on their toxic behavior and they respond with, "That's just the way I am," or, "If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best," you'll change your mind. It's so fucking dismissive and annoying. I tell it how it is, and often the people who say this can't be told how it is. Only God can judge me, and, if you can't handle me at my worst. What's the stupidest thing you ever seen a religious person call satanic? Pokemon, and the Magic School Bus. The DreamWorks film home. The Welsh flag. So my mom's friend is a bit overweight and likes to go to church a lot. She enjoys wearing the color black because it's slimming. Her pastor told her that wearing black all the time was of the devil. Lol. Long hair. They had a very convoluted explanation of why it was okay for Jesus but not 80s me. But I can't remember it. Going to a different church. Not like a different kind of church. For example, Catholic, evangelic. I mean the same kind of building. Just 2 blocks away from their own. What scam is so normalized that people don't even notice? Rent to own. Coming from someone who worked for Rent-A-Center for 3.5 years. Extra fees on travel or actually any e-commerce purchase. Convenience fees or whatever you name them. The fact that someone cut a chicken wing in half and managed to convince everyone it was 2 wings. The fact existing customers aren't automatically moved to better deals once their contract ends. They hope you won't switch and pay the premium. College bookstores. They are the worst. Fast fashion. The reason why your clothes don't look good after you start wearing them is because they were meant to break, fade after the first wash. So you can keep buying more and more. What's one thing you won't ever buy again? Extra insurance coverage for electronics that is sold in stores. I fucked up and put my switch on my blanket and pulled the blanket off. The result was that my switch went flying and landed at a weird angle which bent the left side. Joy-Con rail backwards. But hey, at least I had it covered by insurance. So if I sent it, how did you think it went? They said that I had opened it. Which I had not. Because the battery was damaged and demanded that I paid for the service again and offered me to buy a new one. And that is why I no longer shop at MediaMarkt. Lowe's protection plan on power tools. Ordering a different Chinese takeout than your reliable local. Cigarettes, hopefully. A cabin cruiser. I was told before I bought my boat that the happiest days I would have with it would be the day I bought it and the day I sold it. I did not think this could possibly be true. I was wrong. Lifetime supplies of anything. Did that once. How would you tell us your age without telling us your age? Old enough to have grown up both with and without computers. I recorded my favorite songs from the radio onto blank cassettes to make mixtapes. My mom and dad got me out of bed to watch the first man walk on the moon. Born before Google and Netflix, but not remembering the world without them. When I was a kid I used to say, I want to be a mighty morphing Power Ranger when I grow up. When I was born, VHS tapes were still popular, and by the time I became an adult, virtually no one was still buying brand new DVDs. What's a word that's fun to say? Effervescent. Garbanzo. Rambunctious. Kerfuffle. Shenanigans. Discombobulated. If Anakin was the chosen one, and was the one who would bring balance, and there's like 1,000 Jedi and no Sith, What the hell did the Jedi think was going to happen? Why would the Jedi think force balance was equal number light and dark side users, when they actively want to stop all dark force users? People who ask that question aren't actually thinking. The Jedi are a religion. Their belief is that the dark side is a corruption of the force, a spreading cancer. They perceive balance to be zero use of the dark side. I have always wondered this about prophecies. Where the hell do they come from? So there was a prophecy that a vergence in the force would bring about balance. Where? Who? What was it written on? How did all these great minds and students of the force cling to what? Something a drunk guy said in a bar on Shlomo 6? In an Obi-Wan told us that the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Times. Before the Empire. So if there is a 1,000 generations of peace and justice, what do you think the balance to that is going to be? And why would you want it? Well, turns out they were right. Anakin was a vergence. He brought balance. He was the antithesis of the Jedi Code. He embodied emotion, passion, chaos and death. He was instrumental in wiping out nearly the entire Jedi Order. He helped usher in the way for the Empire. Used it to help subjugate over 1 million worlds. And then at its peak, destroyed its power structure including himself. What was left behind? Where there was once far-reaching justice and peace, there were now regional struggles of good and bad. Where there was once over 10,000 Jedi Knights, there now stood 2 custodians of the light side. Where there was once a coalition of dark side power, there were now mere remnants, stirrings of its former power. He obliterated the overabundant light side, concentrated then destroyed the dark side, and left the galaxy in a state of normality, in an ever-changing tide of good versus evil played out over a considerably more minor scale. He brought that pendulum back to center after 1,000 generations of being way out to the side. That, my friend, is balance. The more one examines the Jedi, the more one begins to find that the Force does not grant immunity from being a smoothbrain. The Jedi, at least before Disney, were not meant to be the good guys, but something like a Buddhist monk. They're meant to free themselves of emotion in order for the Force to act through them. A Sith, on the other hand, uses the Force to enforce their own will over others, even if their will is to do something good, like saving their mother from slavers or keep their loved ones from dying during childbirth. It would still move the Force out of balance. From this perspective, Jedis would be safe as they're not affecting the balance of the Force. Arguably the reason they were wiped out would be because as they got involved with the Civil War politics they started to enact their own will instead of just following the Force. Balance to the Force does not mean the same number of dark side and light side Force users in the context. It was meant along the lines of the Force is in turmoil because the dark side clashes with the light side. Stop the clashing and bring the right form of balance, with the light dominating since we want good to reign. To the Force. Does being mentally well-balanced mean you spend 50% of your day in a destructive rage? Having an equal number of Jedi and Sith is not a balance because Sith and Jedi are not equal. It's like saying a mathematical equation is equal when it has the same amount of variables on each side. But x plus y does not equal a plus b if x and y are both greater than a and b. People whose Tupperware cabinet isn't Schrödinger's landslide, how? If you have one big OEM set, everything fits neatly together, inside each other and behaves perfectly well while not being observed. It's only when you mix in random sizes, styles, and brands that you end up with an avalanche of buckets held back only by the cabinet door. This is the best title ever because I just yelled in my kitchen when a bunch of flat lids fell out. Years of playing Tetris. I got rid of 90% of it. I have two types. Stackable bowls with stackable lids. 2 to 3 meal capacity. And large rectangular containers. Because my toddler already yanked everything out and threw it in random places around the house. Why the hell is there a Rubbermaid lid in the master bathroom?
Subscribe, my brothers.